Y'all almost couldn't hear me for a second, but I caught it. That's why we've got backups. That's why I always ask you guys to drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, and drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. I know you can see me, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me too. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE, at patreon.com/ClassEbeats. By the way, the link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. Today, we have a lot to get into. I know I say that every single show. This is going to be one of my favorite ones because we're going to be talking about some new indictments that may be coming out. One, obviously, including the man himself, James Comey. Another one, including possibly Hillary Clinton. And then my favorite one of today, Fani Willis. Yes, it may finally be time for Fani Willis to answer officially for everything that she's done, although she's already done it in some ways. So it's going to be a great show. Y'all know anytime we're up here holding Fani accountable, I love it. I enjoy it. So we'll go ahead and get into that in a second. But before we do, I have to say what's up to the people, man. We got everybody up in here. Shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy in here, starting the day off the right way and reminding y'all to like the video. We got Les Cleavers in the building. The big dog J Money is up in here. Shout out to J Money. We got Just Saying with Alicia is in here. Mary's in here. Taco Tuesday is in the building as well. We've got Kel Bell. Shout out to Kel Bell, the honorable attorney Kel Bell. We got to give her a round of applause. We got Slim Life New Jersey's in here. Tanya's in the building. Oh my gosh. Shout out to all the members as well. I don't put enough respect on y'all's name. Big thank you to everybody who's in here highlighted in green. I see y'all showing up continuously. Did I say what's up to Taco Tuesday up in here? Hold on a second. Hopefully y'all missed the end of that sneeze, but thank you to everyone that's in the building. Spring Flowers is in here as well. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Now, before we get started with the show, I do have a major favor to ask you all. It's free, it's easy to do, it takes less than a second, and that's that you like the video. All right, likes are free. It takes less than a second to do, as I mentioned before. It really does help the show continue to grow. Lets the algorithm know that you guys are enjoying the show. It shares the video, the channel, and the live stream out with more people. So if you could, please take a second to do that. Thank you to the 1,000 of you that have already liked the video. Wow. I thought I had another sneeze sneaking up on me, but we caught it. Thank y'all so much for liking the video. It really does help the channel continue to grow. And it's free, guys. All right. I know you're going to have a good time here. I know you're going to enjoy yourself, have some great conversation in the chat and with the rest of the community. So just go ahead and like, all right? It doesn't hurt. Also, if you're feeling extra generous, you can share the video out as well. All you have to do is click the button that says share. There's also a button if you don't see the share button, and it'll be an arrow that's curved and pointed to the right. And that is allowing you to share the video out to all social media, Instagram, X, Facebook, and you can even share it in text to your group chats, to individuals, and just let them know we're going to be hanging out this morning. All right. And thank you again to everyone that sends in super chats. I have to give y'all a special thank you. And shout out everyone who goes the extra mile and sends in super chats. We've got a couple of y'all in here. Before we get started with the show, big thank you to Mary in the building. Mary says with the 5-bomb, good morning, everyone. May your coffee be as strong as your determination. That's a good one. They should put that on a t-shirt or so on a plaque or something. Thank you for the support, Mary. I always appreciate you showing up as well. We've got Kelly Berg is in here also with the 5-bomb, says happy Monday all, celebrating a 3-day work week and then grandbaby's 6-day sleepover ahead. Oh my goodness. Well, you better rest up because as fun as that sounds, I'm sure you're going to be wore out after that, Kelly Berg. Yeah, talk about being blessed. Love and blessings to you all. Big shout out to Kelly. Enjoy those cranberries and enjoy your time off, your extra time off this week. That's super dope. We've got Slim Life in here with the super sticker and the 4-bomb, handing out some coffee. Thank you so much. We're drinking water over here. So I got a big old container of water I'll be sipping on throughout the show. We've got CPE in the building as well. Shout out to CPE, always showing support, and he gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership from CPE, please make sure you say thank you in the chat. Not only that, but you do get an opportunity to get your name highlighted in that beautiful green as you see. You also can check out the members only content we have here and you get instant access to all the videos I drop on the channel as well. So make sure y'all take advantage of being a member. Make sure you check out the content we have for you over there and say thank you to CPE. All right. We've also got Trisha in here. Speaking of members, she's been a member for 9 months. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. And Trisha says, good morning, ClassE, Amy, and CEB family. Enjoy this beautiful day. Absolutely. And Trisha, thank you for being here for 9+ months. Appreciate the continued and consistent support from you as well. We've got Spring Flowers in the building. Saw Spring Flowers this morning over on Amy's YouTube channel. If y'all haven't checked out Amy's YouTube channel, make sure you check out and click the link in the description. Go ahead and subscribe over there. She's been premiering videos, so you get an opportunity to live chat there as well. We have a live chat on a lot of the videos Amy's posted on her channel. And you've got so many videos that you can watch over there that are bingeable, especially some ones that are really entertaining when it comes to dash cam footage and body cam footage from these police officers. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to Amy's channel. And thank you, Spring Flowers, for the support. Just dropping the 5-bomb, not even leaving a comment. That's so nice. We also have another one over on PayPal. Who's this over on PayPal? We've got, oh, shout out to another one from Slim Life says, happy Monday to the host with the most. I hope you and Amy have a blessed day. Thank you for all you do. Y'all are the best. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Amen. Love, Slim. Shout out to Slim Life. And thank y'all for being in here. We've got a lot of new timers in the building too. So thank you to all the new timers who are in the building. Do me a favor. If you're here for the first time, or if this is your first time live, make sure that y'all let me know how you found out about the channel. Say, hey, it's my first time here, so we can welcome you over to this side as well. We've got, let me see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, or I didn't miss any shout outs. Y'all bear with me. I'm still getting over a cough that I was dealing with over the weekend. So we're still going to make it through it. And y'all know we aren't going to miss, but just to give y'all a heads up, we're going to be in here doing our thing. All right. I see a bunch of y'all in here as well. We're going to go ahead and get into the content because I know y'all are ready for it. We won't start out with Fani Willis first, but we will start out with Mr. James Comey. And also, thank you to Slim Life before we get started. That was perfect timing. Shout out to Slim Life. She just dropped another super chat in here with the 2 bombs. Says, welcome to all the new members. Welcome to y'all as well. Shout out to the new members. And again, make sure you say thank you for the amazing gift of being a member over here. Okay. Everyone liked the video. Yes. First time algorithm found you. All right. Well, you're going to enjoy the content over here. All right. And again, for those of y'all who are new, we recommend, we don't even recommend, that's probably the wrong word, but this is a welcoming platform, right? We're open to other views. We're open to other opinions, and we respect other opinions here. So if we're on the subject and you're worried, I don't want to say anything because I don't know how it's going to be received, you are welcome here. All right. As long as you're respectful, as long as you're able to express it without name calling or cussing, obviously, we welcome that here. All right. So differing opinions are always welcome. I think it makes for a better experience. I think it makes for a great conversation, and it's the best way to move the conversation forward. So even if you have a differing opinion on the subject, make sure y'all speak up, and we could always have a back and forth about it. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about James Comey. So as many of you know, we've covered here on the channel, James Comey is in trouble with Donald Trump. Not only Donald Trump, but he was indicted by the federal government. Yes, he was indicted for lying and making false statements, a bunch of stuff we're going to get into, and I won't go over it in too much detail again. But with that being said, it's appearing that Comey may be facing even more charges as a result of this initial indictment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out hearing from the president and what he had to say about the indictment. I'm sure he's very pleased with this, especially with the issues he had with Comey. And shout out to Eric for posting this over on X. He says, the President Trump just dropped the mic. Why does he say that? Let's find out.
President, they will indict your FBI director or people in your administration.
That's what they tried to do, right? They did it with me. For 4 years, they went after me. They went after me for 4 years, and that doesn't include the 4 great years that we had in the White House. So when I ran it from, 2016, when we won, It began before I got to office. You know that. Wait a minute. Before I came to office, I started hearing rumors about Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Nothing. And then it got worse and worse, and some of the fakers, not you, but some of the fake news picked it up and they loved it. And we went through a long time with that. And despite that, we had a great first term.
Because that's how it went, where they made you go and take a mugshot. Is this more about justice or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it. And it's, as far as the case is concerned, he gave an answer. It was just.
And it's interesting to hear this from the president, and I'll tell you guys why. We have covered at length on this channel before the election went on, during the election, after the election. And one thing I have been consistent about saying, even as Joe Biden was leaving office, is Joe Biden better protect a lot of these people that were involved in this whole election Russia interference investigation, because we know for a fact Kamala Harris was involved. We know for a fact Fani Willis was involved. We're going to talk about it later. And Donald Trump was not going to let this go. Let's check out some more information about this.
Former FBI Director James Comey, now the first.
Oh, I've got it in chipmunk mode. My bad, y'all. I had this sped up earlier. Listen to it. Here we go.
Of the Obama-era officials indicted for charges stemming from the Russiagate hoax and the investigation. He's facing 2 counts, lying to Congress and obstruction of justice. But former House Intelligence Committee Chairman and current Trump Media CEO Devin Nunes tells me it's entirely possible more charges are coming for Comey and more former Intel officials. Watch.
Comey has long been a liar, a leaker. He's
Yikes.
dishonest. He ruined the FBI. He will be lucky if there is not a grand conspiracy charge brought, which is really what should be brought against probably about 24 characters in the United States over the last 7-8 years.
Yeah, and that's, again, including Hillary Clinton, Fani Willis, Joe Biden. Who knows how many people had a hand in this? I mean, even Mayor Andre Dickens here in Atlanta was up there at the White House talking about some stuff. It's crazy.
Should there be more charges against Jim Comey?
Very specific, and it's over whether or not he lied on this one part. The larger part is whether or not you can bring a kind of grand conspiracy case. And, people talk about, there's the law, which is, lying to Congress, lying to the FBI, but there's also a term in there called misleading. And what a lot of these guys did is they made up things using intelligence that didn't exist, but acted like they knew something that actually wasn't there, and they lied and misled the American people. The only intelligence that they had is that the Russians were very well aware of Clinton's plan, and they actually not only thought Clinton was going to win, but likely preferred that she would win. So going back to the cover-up of her missing emails, that, by the way, are still missing, they all got involved in this plan. They all got the FBI exercise.
President Trump was asked about the investigation on Friday. He did not mince words on just what he thinks of Comey.
Justice or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it.
Yeah, the question now is, will we see a bigger charge here, Liz Peek? You heard what Devin Nunes said, and I think the whole crux of this idea is the fact that they misled the court, they misled the American people. Is that part of a grander conspiracy that they tried to play against President Trump? That's what Lindsey Graham said, as well as Devin Nunes. And if we have the court proving that there is a larger grand conspiracy here, and that's the reason that they also, by the way, raided Mar-a-Lago to get the report on what they did for Russia collusion, that's what you've got coming out now. That's what people are talking about. Devin Nunes, and here's Lindsey Graham, who at the time was the chairman of the Judiciary Committee when they.
Well, and you have to include Kamala Harris in this too. Joe Biden did not give her a pardon. He handed out a ton of pardons before he left office. I was shocked and surprised he didn't give one to Kamala Harris. This is not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And it's going to be nasty too, because you can see, we're going to talk about it here, President Trump laying the foundation to really get everybody. Like I said, from Fani Willis to the former vice president. President, obviously, Joe Biden's not going to be involved, but may he be brought in for questioning as possible.
They perpetrated this on Trump. Watch this.
He's presumed innocent until proven otherwise. If I'm the Department of Justice, I better get my best lawyers on the field, because Patrick Fitzgerald, Comey's lawyer, is a great lawyer. But the idea he leaked classified information to create a narrative politically, I think that's a strong case. But there's so much else. In 2016, Comey received a memo from the intelligence community, an investigative lead, suggesting that it was Hillary Clinton's campaign who signed off on the plan to link Trump to Russia to avoid her problems. Now, the question is, did they ever take that allegation seriously? He told me that doesn't ring a bell when I asked him in 2020. Can you imagine the Republican candidate for president, that you got a memo from the CIA saying it may be his opponent who's starting this line of inquiry, and the FBI did nothing about it? So Patel's going to tell me if whether or not they opened up an investigation. So every time there was some exculpatory information, the court never heard about it. Yeah. Every person who signed the Carter Page warrant said, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have signed it. Comey.
Now, interesting thing about this, too. I want to point this out, just something I observed. Lindsey Graham is not in Atlanta. And why do I bring that up? His background is of Atlanta. Now, why would that be? Well, if you look into the history of what happened with this whole election interference situation, one of the reasons Lindsey Graham has been in Atlanta in the past and could possibly be in Atlanta is because there's something is about to go down right here in Fulton County. Why do I say that? Look at this information I have. So in 2022, Lindsey Graham was subpoenaed to testify before a special grand jury in Atlanta in the investigation of efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. Guys, one thing you will hear from me here on this channel is I do not believe in coincidences. Lindsey Graham was already called to testify back in 2022 about what was going on with the election results. And now he's sitting here with the background of his video being Atlanta. Lindsey Graham was mainly based in South Carolina. He served in South Carolina for years and years and years and years. Why would this background be there? Again, this may be a little bit of conspiracy theory, but Lindsey Graham is connected to Atlanta. Check this out. Also, Lindsey Graham challenged that the subpoena, trying to have it heard in federal court in Atlanta rather than before the Fulton County Superior Court. The special grand jury report actually recommended charges, including charges against Graham, though he was not indicted. Keep that in mind. Let's move forward.
Knew then what we all know now and ignored it. I believe he withheld exculpatory information from the court because he wanted Trump to be found guilty. The memo from the Intel Committee in September 2016 was addressed to Comey, suggesting Hillary Clinton was behind this, and a copy went to Strzok. Did they take it seriously? I want to know that answer to that question.
So, Liz Peek, weigh in here, because we know that John Brennan knew that Hillary Clinton was putting together this whole fantasy of Trump colluding with Russia. He was in that Oval Office meeting at the end of 2016 or early 2017, and he wrote his little notes there. We have a picture of it, and we have the memo of the notes that basically told all of them Hillary Clinton, and the Russians are aware that Hillary Clinton is coming up with a story that Trump is somehow tied to Russia as a way to hide her own email scandal.
Yeah, Maria, there's no question that James Comey was part and parcel of a grand conspiracy, basically to, I would say, destabilize the Trump presidency, to put it under pressure from day one, because the American people were led to believe that he was a tool of Vladimir Putin. And sadly, you continue to hear that charge raised over and over again. They did a great job of smearing this government. And we spent, 2-3 years through the courts, through various kinds of investigations, trying to prove that Vladimir Putin had organized and run the election that elected Donald Trump, when in fact just the opposite was true. He was gunning for Hillary Clinton to become president. So I think anything they can throw at James Comey is too little. I think he was basically the head of all of this. On the other hand, they better be sure it sticks. They better be sure it's narrow enough that they can convict this guy, because to go through all this and to go back in time to bring these charges, And Lindsey Graham's totally right. He's a slippery guy. He's got good lawyers. This better be solid, and I sure hope it is.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and shout out to, I see y'all talk about Lindsey Graham. Listen, I am not a Lindsey Graham fan at all. I was in South Carolina for many of my life and had to deal with the the leadership of Lindsey Graham for a long time. We'll just leave it at that. But again, we have to look at things objectively and what is the person saying? Is it possible? Could these things be true? Does Lindsey Graham have a point? Because he's been involved with this entire interference situation going back several years ago. If you haven't seen the indictment yet, I know we keep going through this, but I want to bring this up for y'all because it's so simple, it's so short and to the point. It makes me believe that there's a lot of evidence here that we haven't seen, and we're actually going to get into some specific evidence coming up here shortly in the next topic. But check this out. Here's the indictment if you haven't seen it yet. We have count 1, James Comey versus the United States of America. False statements within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the United States government. What do we have? On September 30th of 2020, James Comey did willfully and knowingly make a materially false, fictitious, and fraudulent statement in a matter within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the government of the United States by falsely stating to a U.S. senator during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that he, James Comey, had not authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports regarding an FBI investigation concerning person 1. That statement was false because, as James Comey then and there knew, he in fact had authorized someone else, person 3, to serve as an anonymous source in news reporting regarding an FBI investigation concerning person 1. That person may or may not have been a gentleman with the last name McCabe. Yes, and I know y'all are probably thinking, what? The McCabes are back? This is a different McCabe. We're going to be talking about him in the next video, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Count 2. On or about September 30th of 2020, it's alleged that James Comey committed obstruction of a congressional proceeding by he did corruptly endeavor to influence, obstruct, and impede the due and proper exercise of the power of inquiry under which an investigation was being had before the Senate Judiciary Committee by making false and misleading statements before that committee. And that is all that's in the indictment. What? This is it. So we're going to have to see a lot moving forward if these are to stick, as was mentioned by Lindsey Graham. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. And then we've got, this is going to be so fun. Shout out to all 1,400 of you in the building. All right. Wow. This is an absolute mess. And we got to see it on the other side. We got to see Trump indicted. We got to see the evidence about that. We got to hear about Stormy Daniels, and Trump had his day for accountability. Now, tables have turned. Trump said, all right, you guys tried it. I'm back in office. You had the Russia thing. You had Stormy Daniels. You tried to bring me down. It didn't work. Now, guess what? You want to talk about justice? Here it comes. Oh, man, this is going to be a good one. What do y'all think? No, don't like Lindsey Graham. He's not my favorite at all. Ugh. I was glad when those days are over. Yeah, it's a dog whistle of disrespect towards black people, specifically black women. I had no idea why you would be participating in that. Oh, you're talking about mispronouncing people's names? I mispronounce people's names all the time. It's all right. Let me see. It's Pamela. It's Kamala, whatever. And I mean, if you're going to say that, black people mispronounce stuff all the time. Why does black people feel like they just get to do whatever they want to? Some black people sometimes. Like, dang, y'all be mispronouncing stuff in people's names. But when I do it, it's a disrespect towards black people. Get that out of here. Y'all be saying, y'all be adding S's to stuff. Oh, man, it's all right. Let me see. Comey is a liar, liar, pants on fire. We're about to find out. We're about to find out. You don't care Why go through so much trouble to humiliate black women by purposely mispronouncing her name? Obviously, you don't care about belittling her. No, I really don't. Respect is earned, and I don't owe any respect to people I think are disrespectful. So, no, if you want me to pronounce your name, no, I don't have to. And again, it's not just for black people. I mispronounce other people's names too. But if that's the narrative you want to go with, I'm fine with it. All right, let's get to the next topic, because we are not done with James Comey. And big shout out to Nate the lawyer. We're going to talk about Nate the lawyer here in a second. I'm going to drop a link to the full video on this topic with James Comey and why he was indicted in the first place by the Honorable Nate the lawyer, the Honorable Attorney Nate the lawyer. Make sure y'all go check out his channel, subscribe, and hit the notification bell over there, because he's always dropping amazing content. And this is actually the second video of his we reviewed on this channel. Now, with Nate being a lawyer, obviously he has some more insight into the legal background of this indictment against James Comey, what needs to be proven, what James Comey is looking at facing. Is there possibly going to be more charges? And why we got here in the first place. So again, I'm not going to play the full video. I want you guys to go over there and support Nate the lawyer. The link to this video will be in the description and also in the comments as well. Let's go ahead and see what Nate has to say about this.
Look, this story starts.
Let me make sure I don't have it on super speed. Here we
with
go.
A man named Andrew McCabe. Now, Andrew McCabe was the former deputy director of the FBI under James Comey. Now, back in 2016, 2017, it was a DOJ, Department of Justice, investigation onto who was leaking information out of the FBI to the news media. The investigation showed that the person leaking the information was the deputy director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, and he leaked that information to the Washington Post. Now, since the Justice Department found out it was the deputy director of the FBI who was leaking information to the Washington Post, they asked the deputy director of the FBI, did his boss, James Comey, the director of the FBI at that time, know about this particular leak, and did he authorize McCabe to actually leak this information? Here's what McCabe said in his testimony.
Did James Comey authorize you to disclose information about the Clinton Foundation investigation to the press?
I didn't need James Comey's authorization.
I didn't ask if you needed it. I asked, did he authorize you to disclose it? That's a yes or no.
And shout out to Ted Cruz over there. Again, this is the person I believe may be person 3 here. All right. Now, why is this person anonymous is what I wonder. But Mr. McCabe, Andrew McCabe, may be the person number 3 that is referred to in this indictment. Do we know that for sure yet? No. Will we ever know? It's possible, but Andrew may have felt some of this heat coming from the DOJ, coming from the federal government, and say, hey, guys, listen, I'll help you out. I'll do whatever I need to do. But just like, hey, can we not mention me in this, please? I still got a job.
Or no question.
I authorized the disclosure.
Okay, you're still not answering my question. Did James Comey know about it, and did he authorize it? Yes or no? Did he know about it?
To my recollection, sir, yes, he knew about it.
Did he authorize you? Did he in any way give you the green light, explicitly or implicitly?
I didn't ask Jim Comey.
I'm not asking whether you asked. I'm asking, okay, according to the Washington Times, April 18th, 2018, Mr. McCabe insisted he told his boss that he had authorized disclosure about the Clinton investigation, but Mr. Comey has denied this claim. And Mr. McCabe told investigators that Mr. Comey knew he had authorized disclosure and agreed it was a good idea. Is that accurate? Is that your testimony to this committee?
That is my recollection.
Uh-oh.
So you're aware that your testimony is 180 degrees opposite Mr. Comey's sworn testimony to this committee, in which he insisted he has never authorized anybody to leak to the press.
I'm not going to say what Director Comey said or didn't say to you. That would, however, your characterization of a leak is not accurate.
The FBI has records that will establish whether you're telling the truth or Mr. Comey's telling the truth. Do you believe the FBI should make those records public, so if you're telling the truth, you can be vindicated?
Uh-oh.
And if Mr. Comey's telling the truth, he can be vindicated.
I'm not sure what records you're referring to, Senator.
Any and all emails, correspondence, records whatsoever indicating that Mr. Comey knew of your leaks and authorized them.
I would very much like to see those records as well.
As would I. Thank you.
So we can essentially say McCabe's testimony is 1, I authorized the leak, 2, my boss obviously knew about the leak, and 3, he was on board with me leaking this information to the press. So obviously Congress brought in James Comey to ask him if McCabe was telling the truth. Did he authorize the leaks?
On May 3rd, 2017, in this committee, Chairman Grassley asked you point blank, quote, have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation? You responded under oath, quote, never. He then asked you, quote, have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton administration? You responded again under oath, no. Now, as you know, Mr. McCabe, who works for you, has publicly and repeatedly stated that he leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and that you were directly aware of it and that you directly authorized it. Now,
what do y'all think James Comey is going to say?
It appears that I made a mistake.
I plead the fifth. Hey, listen, I'm standing on business. It is what it is. My bad.
Now, what Mr. McCabe is saying and what you testified to this committee cannot both be true. One or the other is false. Who's telling the truth?
I can only speak to my testimony. I stand by what the testimony you summarized that I gave in May of 2017.
So your testimony is you've never authorized anyone to leak. And Mr. McCabe, if he says contrary, is not telling the truth. Is that correct?
Again, I'm not going to characterize Andy's testimony, but mine is the same today.
Okay,
No,
now it's time to put everything
dude.
together. So we have two individuals, Andrew McCabe and
This is
James
gonna be
Comey.
bad.
And at this point, it's pretty clear.
This
Either
is gonna
McCabe
be
is
bad.
lying or James Comey is lying. So this has turned into the classic he said. But the government's case relies heavily on the credibility of Andrew McCabe, the former deputy director. Essentially,
Allegedly. Again, this is alleged. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. But we don't know what evidence they have. We don't know what was presented to the grand jury. So just assuming that Andrew McCabe is person number 3 that's mentioned in this indictment, assuming that that's the case, we don't know if we've seen if the grand jury's seen communications. We don't know if the grand jury heard audio of certain phone calls. We don't know what the federal government has. We don't know if the FBI is cooperating, just saying, you know what? Just take it. We don't care about Comey. We don't care about McCabe. They're gone. It's the Cash Patel era. Get these guys out of here. That era is over. Let's clean house. So there could be more there. So for Nate to say we're relying heavily on the testimony of Andrew McCabe, we don't know that for sure.
Relies heavily on the credibility of Andrew McCabe, the former deputy director. Essentially, what the government is going to have to show is that Andrew McCabe is telling the truth and James Comey is lying to get a conviction against Comey. So now, when it comes to Andrew McCabe, is there anything in the past that would lead someone to believe that he is not credible? Well, what about if the Trump Justice Department fired him from the FBI for lying to investigators about leaking information? Would that hurt his credibility? Because that actually happened.
Washington former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe has been fired. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announcing the decision this evening. Sessions says the Justice Department's Office of Inspector General concluded McCabe made an unauthorized disclosure to the news media and lacked candor under oath on multiple occasions. McCabe had been on leave and planned to retire on Sunday. The firing jeopardizes his pension.
The Department of Justice, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, making this decision late on this Friday night, saying it was because Andrew McCabe gave unauthorized disclosures of information to the media and misled investigators. This is all revolving around a Wall Street Journal report in October of 2016. Andrew McCabe says that the reporter in this case wanted to write something that was factually inaccurate, that he was trying to slow roll the Clinton Foundation investigation. So he authorized 2 agents to speak to that reporter to clear up any confusion and to give the facts in his view.
All right, let me make sure we're on the same page. Andrew McCabe, the Trump administration, says is a liar. They fired him for lying. They said he wasn't being honest and truthful, even under oath. So the Justice Department's whole case is hanging on the word of Andrew McCabe, who the Justice Department themselves calls a liar. Now, I'm asking you to be a reasonable juror, but in this circumstance, would you convict anyone solely based on the word of Andrew McCabe? Matter of fact, I would even ask, would you indict anyone based on the word of Andrew McCabe, especially under these circumstances? So I laid it out for you to play it out. Now, I want you to come to your own feelings about the case before I tell you how I feel about it, because it should be obvious. I don't think the government has enough to even get near a conviction. They may technically have enough to get past probable cause, but that is probably it. And I think even that's shaky. If this goes to a judge through a probable cause hearing, they're asking you for reasonable factual evidence, and the only thing you have is the testimony of a known liar, a person you fired for lying about the same event you're trying to charge Comey with, it's an uphill battle. But again, we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Y'all go show some love and support Nate the lawyer, because this is a great instance that he's pointing all of this out. It is going to be an uphill battle. I agree, especially when your indictment looks like this. It's literally 2 pages. I've never seen a federal indictment like this in my life. But with that being said, is there more there that we're missing? I would have to say yes. How much is the FBI going to cooperate? Obviously, the FBI is not just going to open the floodgates and say, hey, President Trump, whatever you need, come on down to the FBI and start pulling files. We'll help you out. No, because the FBI does a lot of things that we don't know about and that we don't see. And if it were to happen that way, a lot of it would be public record. And I don't think the FBI wants to go down that rabbit hole. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. Interesting stuff. Shout out to the gang. We got over 2,000 of you in here. Now, guys, hold on a second. Guys, I do not ask for much on this channel. There are 2,000 of you in here. 1,000 of you have liked the video. Thank you to the 1,000 of you that have taken the time to like the video. But likes are free. Can y'all please like the video? I'm not ashamed to beg for likes, all right? I will beg for likes, right? Because it's free. It takes less than a second. So can y'all please like the video, okay? I would appreciate it. All right. Shout out to hey. No, Poetic Justice, don't go anywhere. Dang, that's crazy. Why y'all making Poetic Justice mad? Hey, listen, Poetic Justice, I can say Shaniqua just fine. If I saw it written down, I could say Shaniqua. Is Kamala even a black name? Are we gonna do this? And Fani, is Fani a black name? I don't know. I could pronounce something most of y'all don't even pronounce right. I can pronounce Sha'Carri Richardson's name right. Can I get a round of applause for that? Most of y'all would say Sha'Carri. It's not Sha'Carri, it's Sha'Carri. All right. Is Kamala even a black name? I don't know. Y'all leave Poetic Justice alone, man. Dang. It's all right. It's okay to be offended. We welcome all offense here. Where is the lie? They both said Comey didn't authorize it. Am I the only one that heard it? We're going to have to wait and see. Oh, my goodness. What else are y'all saying? Oh, y'all are still talking about mispronunciation of names. Can we all just have a little fun? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Nate was cooking on that one, too. And again, I'll leave the link in the description for that one, too. Right? This is stupid. This is revenge. I mean, hey, listen, I think the president, he could call it what it was. And he could say, like he said at Charlie's memorial service, I hate my enemies. He said, I hate people that oppose me. I cannot stand them. Erica, I'm sorry. I know you were just talking about how you forgive Tyler Robinson, or you said this young man, whoever you were referring to. But that ain't me. Comey. Come here. Fani, or Fani. I don't want to offend anybody. Fani. Hillary. Come here. It is time. This is my last chance. This is my last 4 years in office. The man's only been in there like 6 months, 6 or 7 months. He's about to get all them. He's about to get everybody. He's got 3.5 years to cook these people over here. It's going to be fun to watch. Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Clinton, Biden. Who else? Who else do y'all want to see sweating up in there? Sweating. Do y'all have any other names? I'm trying to think of anybody else who gave Donald Trump some issues. And again, I think if these indictments were coming out just for a misuse of the law and just the president being thin-skinned and having a temper tantrum saying, I'm going to indict all you guys, that would be one thing. But here's the reason I can support the pettiness along with saying that this is abiding by the law is because there's evidence to show that what the president is accusing them of actually could have happened. We see now a grand jury indicted this man. Say, ooh, he might have lied. And that's the law. You can't do that. So it seems pretty simple to me. Y'all better not run Poetic Justice all. I'm gonna be upset, man. Shout out to Amy. She gifted 5 more memberships in here. Always showing major love. She does it all, guys. As I mentioned, Amy is a content creator as well. So if you haven't subscribed to her YouTube channel, she's at 32K plus subscribers over there. Absolutely killing it, making some great content. So make sure you go subscribe, check out her channel because she's doing an excellent job over there as well, dropping videos like crazy, premiering videos over there, giving y'all a chance to interact in the live chat. And of course, she comes over here and puts in major work, helping produce the show, gifting memberships. I mean, she really does it all. Can y'all spam Amy in the chat? And if you got a membership from Amy, make sure you say thank you. All right. Dang. Poetic Justice, come back. Don't go, man. You say tomato, I say tomato. You're gonna be offended. Some people, not Poetic Justice, some people are so sensitive. I don't know. Poetic Justice might be sensitive. I don't know, but it's okay. Amy also dropped a 2-bomb and said cheers to Jimmy Jimmel. Yeah. I mispronounce literally everything. It's just my thing. It's not revenge if it's true. I think it can be both. I think it can be revenge and it can be abiding by the law. For example, as much as I cannot stand our district attorney here in Fulton County, her wanting to get justice for Donovan Thomas in the way that she did, allegedly, seemingly in the way that she did, right? I have no problem with that. You know why? Because this man was murdered. So she's like, you know what? I'm the DA. This is somebody I knew, possibly loved, was connected to. If y'all were involved, if you sent him a nasty text, I'm coming after you because he's gone now. So if you want your day in court and you want to prove that you weren't involved, fine, we can do that. But no, I'm the DA and somebody's going to answer for this. I don't have a problem with that because obviously the man's dead, right? But two things can be true. You can be doing it for revenge because you want justice or you want someone to pay for what happened. And it can also be you using your position to hold someone accountable to the law. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. What else are y'all saying? Oh, Poetic Justice is still here. Can y'all give a round of applause to Poetic Justice? We don't need to be in the echo chamber. All right. Dang. Again, after 300 years of institutionalized racism, yeah, I'm sensitive. Well, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you want to get into 300 years plus. Most of our last names aren't even ours. They came from slave owners. So some of these names aren't even yours. But hey, I get what you're saying though. I hope, man, you're old, Poetic Justice, if you've been affected by it that long. All right, I'm gonna give you a break, Poetic Justice. Hey, we'll just have a good time. All right, it's okay. Noah, what did Noah say? Because Amy responded to it. Oh, y'all are talking about Kamala being mixed. I don't know. Some people say they feel like Kamala is black. Some people say they aren't. I don't know. Who cares? She's over there doing her thing. No, I'm aware. However, ClassE asked if Kamala's name was of African heritage, etc. Kamala is from her mom's side, Indian heritage. Yeah, I don't even think Kamala is a black name. Exactly. Our names were stolen. Well, we're not going to go. I think they were sold by certain people, but we're not going to go there. Let me clarify. The name Kamala comes from her mom's Indian side. Yeah, Poetic Justice, is Kamala a black name? I don't think it is. Since we're on the subject. All right, y'all we're going to get into this next topic. I know y'all want to talk about Fani Willis. So we're going to talk about Fani Willis here in a second. I need to find this comment from Amy. And thank you to all 2,000 of you that are in the building. Let me find this comment and put it back up here. And I will be right back. All right, y'all hold on. I'm going to play one video for you real quick and I'll be right back. Hey, y'all chill out. It is not that serious, man. Kamala ain't checking for y'all.
We have made it crystal clear the weaponization of this country has ended. Everything is on the table. We are investigating all the weaponization, all the wrongdoing that has happened. We are issuing subpoenas. We are looking at things around this country. People have to be held accountable. No one, Sean, is above the law.
No one's above the law, and turnabout is fair play. President Trump's DOJ setting its sights on former FBI Director James Comey, the longtime MAGA foe, now facing not one but 2 felony charges over testimony he gave to Congress nearly 5 years ago. With that, we want to bring in former Trump lawyer and former federal prosecutor Jim Trusty. Jim, I do want to share this before we sort of dive into all the nuts and bolts. I would just want to share this full screen. This is actually Don Bacon. He's a Republican from the state of Nebraska. A lot of people feel like he's a little bit maybe less conservative than they would like. Nevertheless, I want to share what he had to say and get your thoughts. He says, quote, "It is ironic that Comey was part of the lawfare against Trump, and now he's on the receiving end. Lawfare undermines any constitutional republic. This tit for tat and escalation weakens us." He goes on to say, "It didn't start with this president, but it hasn't stopped either." Is he right in that respect, Jim?
Well, he's right to have a general reaction to the concept of lawfare. You know, lawfare is target first, evidence later. But I would tell you, I think there's major distinctions. I mean, the two big distinctions in terms of how President Trump was treated. Number one, when they went after President Trump, whether you're talking about New York or Georgia or Jack Smith, it was always inventive. It was always like, what is this crime they're trying to allege? They ignore, for instance, the Presidential Records Act, or the fact that every president since Reagan has had a give and take with archives about documents, but they criminalize that. And then the second part is misconduct, you know, literally prosecutorial misconduct. I lived it when I was representing President Trump. And look, the bottom line is, when you talk about Comey, there's going to be an opportunity for his very aggressive, very skilled defense attorney to file motions to try to peel apart the process and suggest there's something wrong with the process. But what I'm not hearing the critics say is a whole lot about the substance, because there was an Inspector General report that established that Comey leaked things to a special employee, through a special employee, all the time to the New York Times. So I'm really interested to see.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. And of course it was the New York Times. Let me take a sip of water. Y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. Here we go. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun one for me. We're done with Comey for now. Although I have spent the first 45 plus minutes of this show holding a white man accountable. If you're sensitive to black people being called out, you might want to sit this segment out, because I'm finna call all the black people involved in this one. Andre Dickens, Fani Willis, Kamala Harris. I don't know. Is she? What's the vote on that? Was there ever a poll during the election if Kamala was actually black or not? Y'all gotta tell me. Listen, as someone who lost their black card at the age of 9, I don't really care. So y'all, the people will have to speak up and let me know what the verdict is on that. But I'm about to hold them all accountable, and y'all are going to love this segment if you've been following the Fani Willis content we've been making here on the channel. All right, so I know it's gonna be a tough one. Some brothers and sisters about to get held accountable, but y'all hang in there. What do y'all say? Are y'all still talking about names? I need somebody to tell me if Kamala is a black name or not. I don't know. Excuse me. Who do you think actually killed Donovan Thomas? I think most likely it was Woody. Oh boy, Noah. Come on, man. Dang. I told you, Noah. I'm trying to. Things are still hot around here, all right? I'm trying to chill out. I don't want to get involved too much in that conversation. I appreciate the question, though. Yeah. Officer Dever. Oh, I mispronounced her name. That's true, Amy. That's true. I did mispronounce Officer Dever's name intentionally. Come on, I'm equal accountability, all right? Yo, Noah, stop asking me questions like that, man. Wait, you trying to get me caught up? Who do I think, objectively, killed Donovan Thomas? Whoever was driving by that day. I'll let y'all decide who you think it was. Whoever was driving by that day and pulled the trigger, that's 100% who it was. So I will answer the question in a political way. Okay, y'all, it's too much this Monday morning. How's everyone doing? Shout out to Bombay in here. And thank you again to all 2,000 of y'all that are in the building. Guys, please like the video. I'm begging you to like the video. All right, that's it. Amy said, Officer Dever. It's apparently pronounced Dever, but I mispronounce that all the time. Kamala's name is pronounced Kamala. She comes from Sanskrit and means lotus. What? It reflects her mother's Indian heritage. Her mother was from Tamil Nadu, India. Oh, that's cool. It's Kamala. I thought that's how I said it. How have I been saying it? Kamala? Have I been this? I thought that's how I said it. Are you sure? Kamala? I thought I was saying Kamala Harris. How have I been saying it? I don't know why y'all tripping. Black people mispronounce stuff all the time. And yes, I know. I am black, by the way. Amy said I typed it 50-11 times. Kamala? I thought that's how I was pronouncing it. Anyway, let's talk about Fani Willis. I'm so sick of this conversation. Guys. How should I start this? You all know I'm a very humble person. One of the most humble persons. The most humble people that you will ever meet. But sometimes on this show, I have to say, I told you so. And if I were to say it brings me no pleasure saying that, I would be lying. What? Have to say I told you so when it comes to Fani Willis versus Donald Trump. Ever since this Fani Willis came onto the radar here on the channel, I've been telling you guys and we've been talking about how all roads lead to Fani Willis. And I said this even before 4547 was brought back into office. I said, if Donald Trump gets into office, I can guarantee you with zero doubt that Fani Willis is going to be in his, I won't use that term. Fani Willis is going to be on his list of people that he's going to look into. Now, we're finally hearing that Fani Willis may be getting some records subpoenaed when it comes to travel. What? Why is that important? We're going to get into in a second. I mentioned here on the channel several times, Fani Willis and Andre Dickens going to the White House to meet with the then vice president. We'll get there in a second. Y'all check this out.
But we begin tonight with breaking news out of the nation's capital. The New York Times reporting tonight that the Justice Department has subpoenaed travel records from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Those records reportedly from around the time of last year's election when Willis traveled overseas. The Times says it's part of a federal grand jury subpoena, and grand jury proceedings are secretive by law. DA Willis charged President Donald Trump in an election interference case, which accused him and his allies of trying to steal votes in an attempt to win the election. A state appeals court said she was disqualified from overseeing the case due to a personal relationship with the attorney she hired to run it. Last week, the Georgia State Supreme Court upheld the decision. Now, we have reached out to the Justice Department, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and Willis's attorney. So far, there has been no response. We'll keep following the story and bringing you any updates as soon as we get them.
All right, so here we go. All roads lead to Fani. I told y'all this. I told you guys this. I told you guys this. When I saw Joe Biden handing out these pardons, I said, Joe, you need to give Fani a pardon because she was the one that actually had the nerve to indict the, at the time, former president and now current president, Donald Trump. She went to the White House. She met with the vice president, Kamala Harris. She went there with the mayor of Atlanta, and it's just not good. It's not going to look good. She had this man put in chains. He got his mugshot. There were people locked up here in Fulton County involved in this camp. She tried to get Lindsey Graham. What? I mean, this is just bad. And now they're looking for travel records, which to me can only mean one thing. They want to figure out where Fani was when this all went down, when this happened. And they're just laying the foundation for eventually indicting the person that, in some's opinion, falsely indicted President Trump. Now check this out from Atlanta News First. We're going to get a little bit more background.
A sign that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is President Donald Trump's next target. I'm Blair Miller.
And I'm Tracy Hutchins. The Justice Department just subpoenaed her travel records. Atlanta News First, Niamani Watson is live outside the Fulton County Courthouse. And Niamani, this comes just one day after the indictment of another one of President Trump's political enemies.
And we're actually going to get into the past here in a second. I think the news is wrong. I think they are misinformed. Who cares about where Fani Willis was traveling overseas when she was on a cruise? I think they're looking to see when she went to the White House and when she met with the vice president, because that's going to be important and key into indictments moving forward and possible indictments that may be out now. So that's why she was subpoenaed here. And we actually got to hear some of that evidence when Fani Willis was on the witness stand and being held accountable for how she handled this entire Trump indictment in the first place. But let's keep it going.
Just yesterday, former FBI Director James Comey was indicted in connection to the Russian interference investigation in the 2016 election. But according to the New York Times, this inquiry into Fani Willis's travel records show that the Justice Department may be investigating another one of President's old enemies. Now, the inquiry is being led by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia. They're seeking Willis's travel records from around the time of last year's election. It's unclear if Willis is the target of the inquiry or if she will face any charges. Willis brought charges against Trump and 18 co-defendants, accusing them of attempting to reverse the results of the 2020 election in Georgia. She was officially removed from the case last week due to a personal relationship she had with a lawyer who was also working on the case. President Trump called it a great decision and said she should be prosecuted.
It was a great decision. It was a rigged case to start off with. It's great. The court just ruled that she is a disaster. She should be put in jail. She's a criminal. Fani Willis is a criminal.
The president calls her Fani too. I think that's hilarious. I'm sorry. I know, 300 years of oppression. I'm sorry. It's funny to me. Sorry, guys.
A spokesperson for Willis told the New York Times that they are not aware of any investigation, as she maintains she did nothing wrong. We reached out to both Willis and the U.S. Attorney's Office for comment. We are waiting to hear back. Live outside of the Fulton County Courthouse, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.
Oh, and it gets better. Again, we've got a little bit more information. I have 2 articles for you guys that we're going to get into, because if you remember, Fani Willis, she was doing a lot of traveling, a lot of going back and forth, was having different conversations, and the planning of this indictment had to take place, right? Who do you think she was getting her information from? And eventually, is this going to lead up to an indictment against Kamala Harris? What? Who knows?
Also following some major developments from the Department of Justice in what appears to be an investigation into Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. The New York Times reporting the Department of Justice has issued a subpoena for records connected to the DA. And Good Day's Lindsay Tuman joining us live this morning on those developments. Hey, Lindsay.
Here we go.
Hey, good morning to you, Caitlin. Yeah, this is certainly a story that we've been following for quite some time, starting last December when the district attorney was initially taken off this court case by a lower court. And then last week, of course, we saw the Georgia Supreme Court declining her appeal to stay on the case. Now the Department of Justice seems.
Yeah, and just to be clear again, I hate to correct the news, but it wasn't decline. They didn't even hear it. Fani Willis said, "Hey guys, I feel like I should be on this case." And the Court of Appeals was like, we're not, we've already been through this, Fani. Please just take the L, go away. You're not getting back on this case. All right.
Declining her appeal to stay on the case. Now the Department of Justice seems to be getting involved, and even the president weighing in on all of this.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis could be facing more questions. According to the New York Times, the Department of Justice has issued a subpoena for records connected to DA Willis. The grand jury subpoena is requesting travel records of when they believe Willis was abroad last fall. Willis at the time was prosecuting President Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants in the 2020 election RICO case. In December of last year, a lower case barred her from the case due to a romantic relationship with then Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. And just last week, the Georgia Supreme Court declined to hear her appeal to stay on the case. President Trump made it clear how he felt about her removal from the case.
What Fani Willis did to innocent people, patriots that love our country, by indicting them, destroying them, she should be put in jail.
It's not clear if this means Willis is the target of an inquiry or if she could face charges.
Oh, she is.
But President
Shout out
Trump
to Adam.
posted on Truth Social, calling Willis and others who prosecuted him, quote, criminals who will hopefully pay serious consequences for their illegal actions.
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats.
Well, the prosecuting attorney's council of Georgia has not yet picked a replacement for that election interference case. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. And in terms of this.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be a replacement, in my opinion. I mean, they could to opt to moving on and have someone else try this. No one's going to want to try this. No one's going to want to see this through. I don't think it's going to happen. Let's get to this article from Fox News, and then we'll listen to this video, which I think is very important. Department of Justice subpoenas Fulton County DA Fani Willis's travel records, according to the New York Times. What do they say? Check it out.
Report claiming the Department of Justice has issued a subpoena for records connected to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for Fox 5 News at 10. I'm Courtney Bryant. The report states the federal grand jury subpoena wants records related to Willis' travel history. Now, it's unclear whether Willis is the target of the inquiry or whether she would face charges. But you'll recall Willis indicted President Donald Trump and others in the 2020 election interference case in August of 2023. The report says federal investigators want records of travel they believe she took abroad last fall. Last week,
I don't think that's it. Again, guys, I'm not buying that. I don't know why they keep reporting this. I think it has to do with her visiting the White House. Although we already have information on that we're going to get into here.
The Georgia Supreme Court declined to hear her appeal to remain on the election interference case. A lower court barred her from prosecuting the president because of her romantic relationship with then Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. After the Supreme Court ruling, President Trump called Willis and others who prosecuted him, quote, criminals who will hopefully pay serious consequences for their illegal actions. The Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia has not picked a new attorney to prosecute that case. Fox 5 has reached out to DA Willis' office and spokesman for comment on this breaking news. Our other top story tonight, the man accused of killing 8-year-old Sakori.
All right. So again, with Fani Willis in this entire situation, there has been reports, and we'll see this moving forward, that Fani Willis was already in trouble regardless of what happened here. Because we know there were conversations that were had and the timing of certain things that took place after her visit to the White House. It's just not a great look overall. So Fulton County DA travel records subpoena. What we know. The newspaper said Friday it had reviewed a federal grand jury subpoena, but the scope of the inquiry was not clear. The Times reported that the subpoena requests information on international travel Willis may have taken around the time of last year's election. The subpoena reported by the Times seeks details of Willis's travel in the fall of 2024, fall of last year. This is a separate from the trips discussed in a motion filed in January 2024, January of last year, which sought to disqualify Willis from the Trump election interference case. What we don't know. It was also unclear whether Willis is the target of the investigation. Obviously, she is. The inquiry is being led by the Office of the U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg, in the Northern District of Georgia. His office declined immediate comment, as did the Justice Department. Jeff DeSantis, a spokesperson for Willis, told the New York Times, "We have no comment beyond the fact we have no knowledge of any investigation." Well, you finna find out. Okay, we're not going to get into the history of that. I want to do a rewind for you guys and kind of paint the picture of what could have led up to this, and most likely a lot of the evidence that's going to be reintroduced not only into future indictments, but the reason they started this investigation in the first place. So let's go back to March of last year when it was reported by Newsweek this. Fani Willis met with Kamala Harris before indicting Donald Trump. And I've talked about this so much on this channel because I think this is going to be very important moving forward with a lot of these indictments. What happened here? Let's find out.
Can you confirm whether or not Ms. Willis or Mr. Wade were coordinating with the Biden White House in the course of this investigation and prosecution?
Shout out to
In
Ashley
the
Merchant.
discovery, they've got a lot of our discovery involves the January 6th. I mean, a lot of what we have in discovery is the same stuff that other places have. So they had to have gotten it from somewhere. And they also, they read a lot of the testimony. They played testimony in the special purpose grand jury. So, I don't know how they got all of that, but they got it somehow. And then, there's one of the other things I did was I did a open records for the White House access, and we had records that Ms. Willis and the mayor of Atlanta were at meeting with the vice president.
Okay, and so this is
met
the
with the vice
access
president.
History. How does that work? The White House keeps records of anybody that comes in and has any kind of official meeting for sure?
Yes, and my understanding is it's highly regulated who can access the White House, and so you have to apply in person or apply ahead of time, and then they give you a time when you make the appointment, and they give you a time when you're allowed to be in and when you have to be out by, and they track you. And I mean that makes sense. They don't want anybody lingering in the White House, but they keep that, and so they're called WAVE records, I believe is what they're called, and I'm not sure what that's an acronym for, but they're publicly available. They're open records.
And this record that's shown on the screen shows Fani Willis was a visitor with V. POTUS. I presume that's Vice President of the United States.
Yes, it was.
And what was the date of that back in, was that February sometime of 23?
February 28, 2023.
Is that before the indictment?
Yes.
Okay. Any further explanation of why Ms. Willis was meeting with the Vice President of the United States?
No. I know Dexter Bonds, and I believe that's the same one that I think it's Dixon, the mayor of Atlanta was also there.
Yeah. So again, coincidences? No, not a coincidence that just before President Trump was indicted, Fani Willis and Andre Dickens were at the White House. Fani Willis had a White House meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris before indicting Donald Trump, a lawyer has claimed during a Georgia Senate hearing. And that lawyer is the Honorable Attorney Ashley Merchant. The claim has since been vehemently denied by White House officials who say that Willis was attending an event for Black History Month and never met with Kamala Harris.
Stop the cap.
Attorney Ashley Merchant showed the committee the White House records detailing that Willis, the district attorney for Fulton County, Georgia, was in the White House on February 28th of 2023 before indicting Donald Trump and 18 others in August for allegedly interfering with the 2020 presidential election result in Georgia. President Joe Biden won the 2020 election with Harris as his vice president. Willis was elected DA as a Democratic candidate. Merchant said the White House records she obtained showed that Willis had the meeting with Harris in the company of Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, a Democrat. A White House official said last February, Vice President Harris hosted a Black History Month reception at her residence in partnership with Black Entertainment Television. Shout out to BET. The official said that hundreds of Black leaders from across the country attended the event, that the vice president did not get the opportunity to speak directly with the majority of guests, including District Attorney Fani Willis.
Stop the cap.
I don't believe in coincidences. Come on, y'all. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all 13 election interference charges against him in Georgia and said the case is politically motivated because he is the front runner for the GOP presidential nomination. Merchant, a lawyer for Trump's co-accused Michael Roman, was speaking before the Georgia Senate Special Committee on investigations about alleged ethical violations by Willis. Merchant maintains that Willis only hired attorney Nathan Wade as a special prosecutor because they were in a relationship and that Wade had never prosecuted a felony case before. What? He was unqualified. DEI cannot save you this time, Mr. Wade. Both Willis and Wade accept that they were in a relationship, but say it started after she was hired him for the Trump case.
Stop the cap.
I'm not going to get back into that. We've already been through that situation. I want to know what you all think about this in the comments and in the chat. It's clear Fani's been subpoenaed. They want to know where she was, what she was doing. Is this laying the foundation for something bigger? Is this just a protocol? They're going through their steps, trying to build a case for someone else. I want to know what y'all think is going to happen here. Saw this coming from 10 miles away. And shout out to the gang. Still over 2,000 of you in here. Thank y'all so much. Has Fani coughed up the travel records yet? You think Fani Willis is scared of subpoenas? She does not care. She was supposed to show up to that special committee hearing, and she didn't show up. She was like, I'm not going. I don't want to. She was subpoenaed for that. She didn't show up. So she doesn't care. His next target is Miss James. I don't want to mispronounce her first name. I don't know anything about, is it Letitia? I don't know anything about her. Or is it I think it's probably Letitia James. I don't know anything about it. It's a nothing burger designed to drag her personal life into this. Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna let that one go. Please kindly hit the like button if you haven't yet. Yep. Shout out to y'all. Oh man. What a mess. What a mess for Fani. I mean, I'm sure she can't be happy about this. And she hasn't really shown that she's willing to give up records like that either. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. We got to talk about Hillary too. Let me find the president here and put him up there. And then we'll get into this next topic. Let me see. Thank y'all again. Shout out. Okay, we're getting better. There's 1,700 of you that have liked the video. Thank you all for liking the video. Again, likes are free. Just take a second, like the video. All right. I do appreciate it. Oh, shout out to Bombay. Say, I'm going to hit that ish from the TV and the phone. That's commitment right there. Thank you, Bombay. Oh, yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the president says you need to be in jail, I don't think even as much as he doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert and all them guys, he hasn't said that. He said they need to lose their job, but he didn't say they need to be in jail. Dang. That's tough. There's Dottie. Shout out to Amazing Grace in here. I love you, Grace. I appreciate you. Praying for you. Hopefully you're doing better. And so sorry about the terrible news today. I'm definitely praying for you. And I don't want to give too much detail, but yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Shout out to Amazing Grace in the building. Funny how Wade never prosecuted a felony, but Fani was the same person who said how was the young lady who was going against her shouldn't win because she never prosecuted. Shaking my head, lock her up. Well, you know, it is what it is. Certain people just believe that certain things only apply to one side, and I'll just leave it. I'll leave it at that. So there definitely is a double standard. If you're here and you ain't smashed that like button, we want to know. TK Kirkland's voice. Who raised you? Yeah, come on. Y'all like the video, man. We got 1,700 likes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put it out there, but just know I'm praying. Y'all say a prayer for Dottie in there, please. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next topic. This is going to be an interesting one. So, as y'all know, President Trump is on a run of dropping indictments after indictments. Now, we haven't heard everything that's come out yet, but it's looking like he may have some more people in his sights to drop an indictment on. We're not talking about Fani Willis anymore. We're not talking about even James Comey or Andrew McCabe. We are talking about Hillary Clinton. Oh. And man, if you need a refresher on what Hillary Clinton could be indicted for, then I am proud of you for living under that rock, because she's had so many issues from when she ran against Donald Trump to before she ran against Donald Trump to while Donald Trump was serving his first presidency term. I mean, it's just an entire mess. And now a lot of people are thinking Hillary may be up next. All right, check this out. Let's hear from
There's certainly going to be more indictments coming over the next.
Oh, hold on a second. I had this on super speed again. I keep doing that. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. Check this out.
There's certainly going to be more indictments coming over the next 3.5 years of the Trump administration. If you look at the Comey indictment, Martha, this was a grand jury indictment delivered in Alexandria, Virginia, not exactly a hotbed of Donald Trump's political support. There were 3 requested indictments. The grand jury returned 2 of those 3 indictments. So I think they showed they were judicious. I think that it showed clearly that there were a couple of things that James Comey did wrong.
The deep state reckoning is just beginning, with the grand jury indicting former FBI Director James Comey for lying to and obstructing Congress. The charges center around Comey's congressional testimony regarding the origins of the Russia hoax. And some believe he could face even more charges for his role in it.
Will be lucky if there is not a grand conspiracy charge brought. Comey and company and all of them got involved in the so-called Clinton plan, which, if you remember, the Clinton plan was to do what? To say that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians. That's like the quintessential definition of conspiracy.
This is the tip of the iceberg. He leaked classified information to create a narrative politically. I think that's a strong case. But there's so much else. Comey knew then what we all know now and ignored it. I believe he withheld exculpatory information from the court because he wanted Trump to be found guilty.
But some are defending Comey, including his former right-hand man, Andrew McCabe.
I'm not aware of Jim Comey ever authorizing some other person to leak information. That's not something I experienced personally. It's not something I saw in all the time I spent working around Jim Comey. I didn't ever see Jim Comey authorizing other people to leak information.
So again, this is why I personally don't think Andrew McCabe is person number 3, as mentioned in this indictment, which says that the statement that James Comey made is that he did not authorize someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in the news reports. And they're saying, or it's being alleged, that that statement is false because James Comey Jr. then and there knew he in fact had authorized person 3. It's speculated that person 3 is this man, Andrew McCabe. I don't believe it is. Will we find out? Yeah.
Personally, it's not something I saw in all the time I spent working around Jim Comey. I didn't ever see Jim Comey authorizing other people to leak information.
All right, Joey, answering a reporter's question is a lot different than what you say to Congress when you're under oath.
Yeah, the indictment was short and sweet. So there's a lot of information that we don't have, such as what exactly they indicted him on. But you got McCabe there saying, I don't think I ever remember that, but it's also his testimony juxtaposed to Comey's that Ted Cruz was getting at. So he said, I don't know much about this, and I'm not a lawyer, but I do know a big part of the government's plan, usually in things like this, is to start to get someone to tell on the other to keep themselves out of trouble. And when Vance and Trump are signaling things, and I don't think they're a part of the Justice Department's investigation here, but when many people are saying things like, I think there are more to come, I wonder if that's part of it. If the idea is to put pressure in so many places, somebody says, hey, I'll talk to get me out of this.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about Fani Willis as well. Could Fani at some point just say, hey, listen, I don't need any trouble. I've already got enough to handle here in Fulton County. What do y'all need? What do you guys need from me? I'll give it to you. If you want me to testify, I'll testify. Just keep me out of it, okay? I'm trying to figure out and fix the gang violence here in Fulton County. Can y'all just let me do my job? That's a possibility as well. Maybe she gets, I don't know, maybe they make a deal in some way. Who knows?
Yeah, the paperwork, the notes, and the personal notes, that's what I think a lot of what the FBI is in the Department of Justice is looking at, which begs the question, could Hillary Clinton be the next person indicted? During a 2016 congressional hearing, I pressed Comey on Hillary, and he denied that she ever lied to him.
Oh, come on now.
Did Hillary Clinton lie under oath?
Not to the FBI, not in a case we're working.
Did you review the documents where Congressman Jim Jordan asked her specifically? And she said, quote, "There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received," end quote.
I don't remember reviewing that particular testimony. I'm aware of that being said, though.
Did the FBI investigate her statements under oath on this topic?
He don't recall.
Not to my knowledge. I don't think there's been a referral from Congress.
Do you need a referral from Congress to investigate her statements under oath?
Sure do.
You'll have one.
Yeah, that came a few hours later. Anita, where do you see this going?
Well, I think we all heard Devin Nunes talk about how Hillary was involved in pushing this plan that Trump was colluding with Russia, right? I happened to pull an article. This is an article, this is a CNN article from 2022, okay? It says Hillary Clinton personally approved plan to share Trump-Russia allegation with the press in 2016, campaign manager says.
Yikes.
So this is not some right-wing conspiracy. This is not some Republican talking points. This is a CNN article from 3 years ago. So I think...
Guys, I gotta say, we gotta ask something about the Clintons. We gotta have a conversation about the Clintons. How long are these people gonna go untouched? Many of y'all, probably a lot of y'all are younger. I mean, do you know Bill Clinton was impeached and had an SA lawsuit he was dealing with while he was in the White House? I mean, and that's just the very, very small piece of the iceberg. Hillary Clinton with the emails, Hillary Clinton with Benghazi. Hillary Clinton with such and such. Bill Clinton in the Oval Office. Hey, yo. I mean, how long are these people going to go untouched for? It can't be. They can't. Somebody has to step in. I know, and even President Trump has been friends with the Clintons. So I don't even know if it's going to be him. I mean, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if she could be indicted and finally have to answer some of these questions about this Russia collusion narrative and this dossier.
Well, remember, the pressure on her regarding the email was pretty intense because it kept going because they never would cough up those documents. And even though the FBI director said he needed a referral, to best of my knowledge, they did nothing. Absolutely nothing to actually go back and investigate that. Nobody was contacted. No documents were reviewed that we're aware of. And so this idea that the Hillary Clinton campaign spent some $10 million to generate this fictitious documentation that they could then use to change an election. Thank goodness it didn't work, though.
Right, it didn't work. Well, I would also say this. I don't think that Hillary Clinton and Comey are necessarily buddies. I think that even though Comey didn't go the distance on the butter emails, the email server in the bathroom and all this stuff, I think that was a contributing factor to her loss in 2016, among many, many other things, the basket of deplorables. But I'd also say that just this week, I believe it was, on The View, Joy Behar said, I don't like Comey. I don't want him to get indicted, but I don't like him because I think he ruined things for Hillary. So I think, maybe to your earlier point, I think there's some behind-the-scenes bad blood, and all of this just might resurface a whole lot of drama.
Yeah, I thought the FBI director was fundamentally totally wrong and screwed over Hillary Clinton. You don't go make a 12-minute statement telling everything that this person did wrong, but we're not going to charge them. Yeah. That's why the Democrats are mad and upset. And so if Comey thinks he's got this wave of Democrats behind him, I don't think so, to your point.
And he doesn't even have the FBI behind him. The only reason the FBI may protect him in certain ways is because, again, they might not want to release certain type of information that was involving other people, that was involving the past president, the current president. I just have to ask, how long are the Clintons going to go untouched? Amy says they will be touched. I don't see it. They have to feel untouchable at this point. And I mean, at the ripe old age of how old is Hillary? Hillary's 77, Bill's 79. What, are we going to have a president in the next 8 years that's going to, they're going to die with all of these secrets, all of these different things they've been a part of, and never been held accountable at all. Bill Clinton was impeached and still stayed in office, guys. And we've seen that happen before. It's nothing new. What do y'all think? You think Hillary's going to be up next? I personally think this is a bunch of BS.
Stop the cap.
I think the Clintons, they know too much. They've been involved with too much. Same thing with the Bidens. Same thing with the Bushes. A lot of people are just, they're never going to be touched or held accountable. I want to know what y'all think in the comments and in the chats. Amy said, I said, put them in a room with Diddy and they will be touched. Oh, man. By the way, ClassE, Nate is a lawyer. He's also a former police officer in New York and a professor. I knew he was a professor. I did not know he was a former police officer. Wow, man, Nate is amazing. I need to have a conversation with Nate. I've seen him do collaborations with TLA, and I have messaged him a couple of times, but we've never had an interaction. I need to get this man on the show. He has a great story. Maybe I should just interview him sometime. Thank y'all for the support, man. Shout out to everybody for the love. 1,700 of you have liked the video. Still 1,600 of you here. I got a couple more super chats and I'm gonna set y'all free. We got Amy in here reminding me you gotta eat. She's got the cake ready to go. Thank you, Amy, for the love. I always appreciate the super sticker. We've got Poetic Justice with the 5 bomb saying, you're young, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. But I have nothing but respect for you. Thank you for being here, Poetic Justice, for real. And thank you for the support. Like I said, we can have a fun time. We can disagree, even if it gets heated, and we can still do it respectfully. So I appreciate the support, and I'm always going to create a space to where we can have conversation. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I mean, you can find places where people are going to agree with you all day. I think that's one of the reasons we have an issue in our country right now and things are so divisive, because people aren't willing to have the conversation. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. We need more platforms like that, and we are definitely going to continue to do that here. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody who supported throughout the show. Slim Life over on the PayPal, Mary on the Cash App, or on the Super Chat, Kelly Berg, Slim Life again, CPE, Trisha, Spring Flowers, Poetic Justice, and as always, my awesome and amazing Amy. I hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you don't miss any time we drop a new video. Like the video on your way out. And as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Y'all are amazing, man. And see some of y'all tonight.